This has been really good, almost different in a way, to be able to take a couple of days rest. We're playing every other day for 30 days. That can grind you down a little bit. And for the guys to get a couple days off and still have 3 practices before a game is different. What the 3 practices does is it allows you a chance to go back and re-hit a lot of things that maybe you think you need to. Where practices are limited towards the end of the season, you actually get like you get 3 days of just making sure that we're on point with a lot of things that might come into play with regard to playoffs.
Considering the way that you guys have practiced all season long, do you feel like this stretch could be beneficial, though?
The what?
Just considering the way how hard you guys have practiced all season, do you feel like this weird 3 days of practice?
Oh, I definitely, yeah, no, I do. I like the fact that we were able to rest for a couple days and then come in fresh, and I think the guys had great energy out here, so I think that's a good thing.
How important is it for you to keep the competition up in practice even as you get into a playoff series?
Yeah, I mean, I think practices are even harder to find and come by. You know what I mean? It'd be more like play the game. If it's an 8 o'clock game and it goes to overtime, you're really looking for rest and recovery and probably a pregame skate the next day. Just looking at the schedule, you might have a couple days in there, so you might have a day off in there and then a practice. And so I do think there's in the first round, it looks like maybe an opportunity to have some practices, which is good. And then we'll also really focus on rest and recovery.
Washington's a team that all season, when they've been successful, it's been rather low event type style, low scoring. They're good in those 1-goal games. For a team that, if you know that, it could be a risk of, let's try to open them up, let's try this. Is there patience needed here, even though against a team like that? Yeah,
I mean, they've done a good job defensively. They play. It's a little tougher through the neutral zone. They lock, and so there's more numbers through there. I think we just got to try and play our game, and I think that's an important, not so much trying to see what we're. It is about them and what they do. I think it's important that we have that information, but we've also had success this year by establishing our game and the way we want to play it. I don't think that we want to answer your question, I don't think that we want to go overboard or overload or extra gears trying to do what you said. I think we should just try and work at our game that's been, has taken us to a certain place the entire year and see if we can establish that.
After coaching against Ovechkin for all these years and then coaching in the last couple of years, what were some of the things maybe you learned about him that you didn't know when you were before you got there in Washington?
It was great to work with Ovi for a few years. He's a terrific person. Loves the game. I think sometimes you don't see that. You see it in him, when he's on the ice, but then you see it on a daily basis. He loves the game, and you watch his ability to score goals, and you realize that he's pretty special with regard to that.
Blake Wheeler had a jersey in the room for the first time in a while. Is he skating?
Blake did skate on his own today.
As far as the feeling out process goes in the first game of a new series, considering how well you know this team, do you still feel like there will be that in a game 1 or the first 10 minutes, or because of the familiarity with everyone feeling the division, it's kind of just running gun?
Yeah. I would imagine that some teams have come out in their first game of game 1 and gone up 3-0 in the first 10 minutes. I don't think it has to be a feeling out process. But then, to what you said, there's probably a whole bunch of times where it has kind of just gone back and forth, and 1 shot for here, 2 shots against, you're 10 minutes in, there's not much going on, and the game opens up. I don't know how it will go. I would like to be on, try to come out and be on our game and see if we can establish that.
I'm also curious, you heard Coach Thibodeau's comments yesterday from the Knicks about following the Rangers, and I'm curious to hear about the camaraderie between the 2 teams. I imagine you haven't really experienced something like what we're about to experience this weekend.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool Saturday, Sunday in the building. I have gotten to have just a few conversations. We're both busy and not always in here at the same time. Just a terrific gentleman. He's done an amazing job with the Knicks and, home court. And the team's played really well. And, it's exciting for, Knicks Rangers fans to have 2 teams that have had good regular seasons and now pushing towards the playoffs. So it's good. He's done an amazing job.
The last two games, probably, I have to remember, definitely last game, you liked Mika's line, I think it was.
Yeah.
And part of that was Roslovic.
Yeah.
Speed.
Yep.
right? When he plays that way,
Mhm.
what does it do for me, Kreider?
Well, I think it continues the rush. It continues the offense. You know, he's a guy that can play in high gears and still make plays. I do think that Mika and Kreider factor into that too. When they're all playing that way, they become more dangerous as a unit of three.
Has that been though? I mean, it would probably be inconsistent since he's gotten here, seeing that level of speed, you know, and seeing them work.
Yeah, but I feel like it's been more consistent. Listen, I always say that it's difficult to have the A+ game every night. No player does that, and I feel like those three have been a good unit. I mean, you know, for the most part, they have stayed together, and I was upfront about guys having to come out. Just I needed to find spots to keep guys fresh and keep guys in the lineup. But for the most part, that line's been together. I think they've done a really good job.
It might be hard for you to answer because it's your first year with the Rangers, but how can you describe the jump that Alexia Pavard is having this year?
That who is?
Lafreniere.
Yeah, you're right. I can only speak to this year. He's from the first game. He's established some chemistry, and that line has played really well. They've generated top numbers with regard to 5-on-5 offense, 5-on-5 goal production. There's definitely some chemistry there with that line. He can skate. He has a really high hockey IQ, and he has the skill level to play with those two players and have that line be successful.
When you talked about over the course of the season, how much of an appreciation do you have for what Trocheck has done for you in terms of just his all-around game, everything that he does?
Yeah. You're talking about a player who touches every part of our game, if you think about it. Face-offs, offense, defense, power play, penalty kill, 6-on-5, 5-on-6. He is one of the first players out the door. He plays high minutes. He has been reliable. Again, he's part of one of the top lines in the league with regard to producing offense. He is somebody that we count on, that I count on and rely on.